Alright gang, how you doing? Conman here. We are on the PTR right now. I want to talk about Butcher a little bit, in particular the new Butcher, or at least the soon-to-be Butcher. As of this recording, it is Friday the 4th of August. I think it's the 4th. Yeah, it's the 4th. I know what day it is. I have calendars. Anyway, he will be released with the Garrosh patch, which I believe is coming in the next week. It may be a week and a half. I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know off the top of my head, but soon, regardless. The point is, the new Butcher, or the slightly different Butcher, will be out soon. The reason I want to talk about him, if you saw my video I did on the PTR patch notes that came out on the 31st, a couple days ago, one of the things that I mentioned is I wasn't sure about the changes. I thought that it was going to be kind of a net nerf to him overall. It's going to change his gameplay a little bit. I want to talk about it. It was a net nerf to him overall. And one of my friends listened to that or watched it, hit me up, and they're like, nope, Conman, you're an idiot. You're dumb, and it's going to be great. So I do, I want to counter that. I want to talk about that. I want to clarify those statements a little bit now that I've had a couple of days to think about it and play around a little bit and do a little analysis. So this shouldn't be too long. It'll be quick. There may be some math involved. I'll keep it short. So if you're scared of numbers, here's your warning. Let's just straight up here, let's just talk about what was actually changed overall. Let me see if I get this right. We can bring up these here patch notes. There we go. Bring up the patch notes from the 31st here. So first off, basic attack damage was lowered. So I don't know what that ultimately translates to at level 20, 4 or 5%, something like that, decrease. So that's just obviously straight up nerf any way you put it. So regardless of what happens, if everything else is the same, his damage will be slightly lower, all things considered, across the board. Slight nerf, but I think some of the other changes are meant to account for that. So here we go. His trait is really what's changed, and this is what changes his gameplay. So the meat required to complete the quest goes from 125 to 200. So obviously it's a big jump more. Damage bonus per meat stack is decreased from 1 to 0.5. So what does this mean? So right now when you complete your quest, you get 100. You're at 125 extra bonus damage from your meat by yourself. So now when you complete your quest, you're going to be at 100 bonus damage. You're going to get 100 bonus damage just from the meat. The meat dropped by enemy heroes increases from 5 to 25, which is actually a big deal. We're going to talk about it. And then bonus damage on quest completion increased from 100 to 125. So what does this mean? Before we get into the rest part, what does this mean? This means previously, when you complete your quest, you get 125 bonus damage just for having 125 meat stacks. Then you get 100 extra damage, total 225 damage overall. Now you're only going to end up at 100 damage from the meat itself. The quest completion is going to give you 125. It's going to equal 225 total. So in that sense, that's going to stay exactly the same. So once you complete the quest, at the quest completion, your bonus damage is going to be exactly the same. There's not a change, not an effective change. Once the quest is completed, enemy heroes will continue to drop meat. They will drop meat at 10 per hero, which is going to translate into 5 permanent basic attack damage per meat collected. So they essentially, and then the other thing, of course, here you can see level 1, Abattoir has been removed. So that was what Abattoir did, essentially. It did two things. The first part, which you see is going to be made baseline. The second part was it removed meat lost on death from 10 to 5. So you're still going to lose 10. Also, the interesting thing to note, if I switch over to the other tab, is that was taken all of the time. It was taken 79% of the time, almost 80% of the time across all leagues, because it was just, that's the talent you should take. And if you're playing Butcher on the live server right now, you should take this talent, because it's the best one. So it does, making this baseline, or at least most of it baseline, does actually afford Butcher the opportunity to take a different talent. So how does this change his playstyle here? Why did I think it was going to be a net nerf? I do want to clarify that. So what I think is, and I've had some time to play with them, I've had some time to think about it, I think it's going to be a net nerf in the higher ranked play. So if we're talking Hero League, high Team League, obviously Pro play, it's going to hurt Butcher. It's going to be a nerf to Butcher. It's going to take Butcher longer to get online and to really be able to do things. I think in the lower levels of play, I mean, we're talking, quick match, where things are much more chaotic, especially quick match. We're talking lower level in the, your hero team leagues. Butcher's going to be a pub stop champion. He is going to be completely broken, and it's going to be silly, actually. So we'll go to the math here just a little bit and talk about why. So in his previous playstyle, let's go back, let's go to his trait here. In his previous playstyle, you know, you need 125 meat. You only get 5 from heroes. You know, what is that? That's like 20, 25, 30 heroes that you had to kill in order to just heroes alone. If you're doing nothing but hero kills, 20, 25 hero kills, something like that, just to stack it up. So primarily, like the playstyle for Butcher was in the very beginning part of the game was you were just going to farm meat. You're going to pick a lane if you're, two lanes if you're on a bigger map, and you're just going to go from lane to lane, and you're going to farm meat. At least that's the way that I was doing it. You're going to farm your meat. You're going to make it as efficient as possible. If you were fortunate enough to, to have somebody get them overextended and pick them off, great. That's going to help you. But otherwise, at least when I was playing him in quick match, I would completely just ignore that first objective. I would tell my team, like, hey guys, I'm just going to farm meat. It's what we're going to do. And then once you get the meat, then you can join in the enemy team, and then he becomes really, hard to play against and oppressive to play against. You're really not going to be able to do that anymore. Now it takes 200. Getting your meat up just by farming minions is going to take much longer. It's not going to be the way to go. So what this does, what these changes do is it heavily incentivizes Butcher to get ganks and Butcher to kill people. You get 25 meat now for killing an enemy hero, which means if just for the sake of argument, if you only stack up by killing heroes, now it takes 8 of them. And imagine if you have a Murky on the enemy team or the Vikings, or you get some ganks, you're going to level up really quick, and you still get meat from the minions. It only takes 8 enemy hero kills, assuming you don't get killed. Also, because of the bonus, in the current iteration on the current live server, even if you take, let's just say you take Abattoir at level 1, you get the meat reduction when you die. If you kill a hero, you pick up their meat, there's 5 stacks, you get killed, you lose 5. It's a zero-sum game, and in fact, it's probably a net negative for you, since while you're dead, you don't have the opportunity to go ahead and farm up anymore. Whereas now you kill a hero, you get 25 stacks. Even if you get killed right after it, you lose 10. You're still plus 15. You're plus 15. You're still dead. You still lose that opportunity cost, being able to farm meat while you're alive. But you don't lose anything. You don't lose anything. You're actually ahead of the game. 15 extra meat stacks right there. So I think in competitive play, teams are going to play much more cautiously. There's going to be more communication. It's going to be much harder for Butcher to level up. He's not going to be able to pick people off by himself, whereas you could do that in lower leagues, which means it's going to be harder for him to get the stacks he needs to really get online and do Butcher type things, and go Arby's on you. Whereas in a quick match setting, in a lower league where people are very reckless and they overextend. How many games in quick match do you play if you play quick match where it's, there's you run out level 1, everyone runs out to the middle and they skirmish, and there's like 4 deaths on either side, and that's just a crap ton of meat for Butcher right there. I think in quick match he's going to be very oppressive. I played one game in the PTR, and not that the PTR is a fair representation of what's going to happen, but it was a quick match game, and I finished my quest by 3 minutes in. 3 minutes into the game, because we ran out, everyone ran out into the middle. Everyone was dying left and right, myself included. There was just a lot of roaming and ganking, and people were not very cautious, and it's the PTR, so take it for what it's worth. But I finished my quest at level, not at level 3, sorry, 3 minutes in, 3.5 minutes in, something like that. It was really silly. I could see that happening a lot in lower level games where you got a Butcher and there's just a ton of kills and he gets everything, and then suddenly now you're 3 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the game, you've completed your quest, and now not only are you just super crazy strong because you've completed your quest as Butcher, but you're going to continue to scale up as you get kills, and you continue to get 5 extra damage per hero kill. Now let's look, plus you have the opportunity to take one of these 3 other talents, and, they're not the best things in the world. You get some cooldown reduction on your hamstring. You can do extra damage to minions. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. I think most people are either going to go Invigoration or Block. Block's a solid talent as Butcher. Also in quick match, in lower level leagues, there's much less emphasis on focused crowd control, and really that's Butcher's weakness. Whereas in the upper level league, if Butcher charges in on somebody, it's very easy to protect them, or to CC Butcher and give him a stun once it ends, or something, to do something to separate him from his target so he's not able to brand them and just go to town. Yeah, so that's kind of my spiel, and hopefully my friend will forgive me for saying that. Again, overall, my personal emphasis, higher leagues, it's going to hurt him. It's going to take much longer to get the 200 meat if they can do it. If they can get some kills. It's going to force Butcher to be very, very aggressive. It's going to incentivize him to be reckless and try to get some of those kills. In lower leagues, in lower level play, in quick match especially, Butcher is going to have a flippin' field day, and I'm kind of scared to see that happen. I'm kind of scared to see him in action. He's already in quick match just very, very, very strong. I mean, if I go back here to Hot Slogs, I mean, already he's super high on the win rate, and that's, you know, it's nuts. What is he in quick match? Let's see if this will do. Yeah, that was quick match. 57% win rate in quick match across all leagues. In fairness, across all leagues, all levels. But he's already really, really high. I expect to see that number, at least in the quick match side of things, go up very, very heavily. But we'll see how this turns out. Anyway, that's my spiel. Let me know what you think. My name's Conman. Thanks for watching. Take care.